say one of the things, while it is more work doing the bulk of it by myself, I will say what's nice is whenever something does go wrong, you know exactly who to blame, which is really nice. Back in the day, it was like when it would be like this, like, 10-step process of like somebody sets it up and then somebody's there for the record and then somebody passes an edit and then sometimes it like went through a second one for some reason and it was like you're just like who fucked up, where did this go wrong? Now it's just like
Right.
I fucked it up. I like we can tell exactly who did it.
Right.
Guess who fucked it up? Hello everybody. My name is Aaron Knoll, and welcome back to what should have been the Movie Battleground. It's funny that not even a week ago we had that video go up where I talked about if like something happens, there's only one person to blame. And then I also praised myself because realistically there really haven't been that many issues so far that have been out of my control. This match is completely one of them. There unfortunately is no Jeremy versus Madeeh. It did happen. Let's get that out of the way. Jeremy versus Madeeh did happen. But unfortunately, I no longer have the footage. To kind of explain what happened, every once in a while I go through and do kind of a clear out on the StreamYard because graciously Matt pays for StreamYard storage, but even then, especially when every one of these videos is like 2 hours and we have trivia matches and a Supernova show and everything from Matt's personal channel, Inside the Horseshoe, goes onto this one StreamYard. Sometimes it gets a little bulky and you got to just cut down on some of the footage that's saved. And I usually go through and delete the Battleground matches because I always have second copies of the files. And so basically what happened was I went through and I wasn't thinking because I had downloads of the files and I deleted the Jeremy versus Madeeh match. I deleted it from StreamYard. I deleted it from YouTube. I completely cleared it out because in my mind, I had the matches. What I had failed to remember was that the day I downloaded the matches, for those of you who happened to see this, was the same day I downloaded the Joe Fairley versus Jay Burns match. Now, for anyone who remembers that match, basically when it first uploaded, only about an hour and 10 minutes of it uploaded to YouTube, and then it kind of cycled out of the video. And I didn't really know what happened. And I realized that when I downloaded those matches, I downloaded them while I was at my school campus. And the day that I was there was, which I do remember this from the day I downloaded them, there was an internet outage that I just wasn't aware of at the time. And so when I was downloading the videos, the internet outage happened partway through the downloads, and it basically froze off the videos at that point in the download. The Joe versus Jay match was that day. Another match that had that same issue was the Allen versus David Garcia match, although I was able to catch that one before it uploaded, and so no one would have ever known that that was an issue that existed. I was able to catch it, fix it, re-edit it, and get the proper version up on YouTube for the airing. I failed to remember that I downloaded Jeremy versus Madeeh that day, and it was the third download that I had started. So I was probably about 10, 12 minutes in when it cut off. Like that's all I had of the match. Which means I didn't have the match, basically. And I didn't realize that until I went to edit it, and then everything kind of just clicked in my head, and I'm just left smacking my forehead thinking, oh, you fucking idiot. How'd you let this happen? How did you fuck that up so good? Because it was an excellent match. I realized coming from someone who has seen it, that is one of like 3 people who have seen it. It was me and the judges, and that's it. It was an excellent match. So the best I can give you guys is I can give you the questions that were debated. I'm considering using these questions again. I am going to read their questions and their answers, but if this is something like if these questions interest you guys and you would like to see them used again, comment below. Let me know if you guys want to see these questions in future matches between other competitors. But I'll kind of run through and give you guys the recap on what happened. So the first question that was given, we talked about neo-westerns, and it was, what is the best neo-western released in the 2010s? And you know, on Battleground, sometimes we allow the range of what a category is to go a little wider. So I counted a neo-western as anything that follows the Western genre conventions, but is more modern, either in terms of its filmmaking, its setting, or literally it's like Jesus Christ, like if it's literally modern day. For that question, Jeremy went with the 2011 Gore Verbinski animated film Rango. Madeeh went with the 2016 film Hell or High Water. Chris Pine, Jeff Bridges, Ben Foster, both excellent films. Very interesting debate because it's two very different answers. And our second question was actually a very similar situation, but inverse. That question was, what was the biggest Oscar snub in honor of the Oscars coming up of 1988? Specifically that year, 1988. Now, they could have argued for either it was a snub of a nomination, it was a snub of a win, but it was nominated, or it should have won and it should have been nominated as well in the first place. In this one, we had again kind of two different, very different films, live action animated comparison. Jeremy went for Die Hard, which should have been nominated for Best Picture, and Madeeh went for My Neighbor Totoro, which he argued should have been nominated for and won Best International Foreign Film at the time, or Best International Feature Film, I think is the exact wording of the category now, at the time, because animated didn't exist yet at the Oscars, so he went for foreign. The third question, what is the best sequel in a supernatural horror franchise of all time? Talking about some cool horror. Madeeh went with Evil Dead 2, which is certainly a good follow-up from everything I've heard to the first Evil Dead, and definitely more of a horror film than Army of Darkness. So it's an interesting pick. Jeremy went with New Nightmare from the not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Again, rather an interesting pick. And then the fourth question that we had was, when Tom Cruise retires from the franchise, which character who had previously been in the Mission Impossible franchise is the best option to take over? And they could have picked any character who had been in the films, whether they've been in one film or 7 films or however many films. There haven't even been 7 films yet, but you get my point. They could be in any film, but who's the best to take over? And Jeremy went with Ilsa Faust, Rebecca Ferguson's character from the last 2 films and the next 2 films as well. Madeeh went with kind of an outside-the-box pick. He went with let me get her name right, Jane Carter, who was played by Paula Patton in the 4th film. And I mean, I feel like just off the picks alone, like Rango versus Hell or High Water, or My Neighbor Totoro versus Die Hard, I hope the picks are portraying just how interesting the debates were, especially based off their performances in given matches. Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the best I can do. Again, there's nothing more humbling than when you feel like you are pulling everything off, firing on all cylinders, and then you fuck up massively. And this is that moment for me. So again, guys, I sincerely apologize that I don't have that for you, because I should have. And I hope you guys will just accept this apology, and obviously the winner of that match will go on to play Joe Fairley in the finals, and the loser of that match will go on to play Jay Burns in the bronze bracket, which means they are just 2 matches away from a title shot themselves. So the winner or loser, both are in solid positions to get to a title picture, just one's got a slightly longer road than the other. But yeah, I guess what's left to say except the winner of the matchup will be revealed to you when the tournament finals goes up in our Battleground Blitz event on March 12th. Stick around for the second half of the video, guys. I'm going to be doing the wheel spin for our upcoming exhibition matches. And till then, enjoy your tournament final blues balls. My name is Aaron Knoll, and I will see you back here in just a moment. What is up, everybody? My name is Aaron Knoll, and welcome to the second half of this video. I apologize for the disappointing news in the first segment of the video, and I aim to disappoint many more of you because this is the wheel spin for the upcoming exhibition matches. We have two that are currently being prepared to go into the tank. We have the DC exhibition match, which airs next Thursday, 1 week from today, in honor of the upcoming DC film, The Batman. And about a little less than a month from now, we have the drunk match going up, which is the return of a previously annual tradition that will be airing on St. Patrick's Day in March. And we had more signups for these two matches than we had the previous three over Christmas, which is awesome because it shows growth of engagement and it shows that you guys do want to be involved in these. But unfortunately, in order to keep the matches somewhat stable, we can only have up to 3 people play. Now, I had previously recorded these videos already, but my dumbass never turned on my mic, so I recorded these videos without audio. So I already know the results. I know what is going to happen. But as I go ahead and bring the videos into the stream here, I'm going to adjust it that way because that looks a bit better. And we're going to get to spinning. First up is the DC wheel. And the way that I established the wheel as I go ahead and scroll down for you guys there is the way that I set up the wheel is each name is on the wheel once. I will spin it. It will land on a name, and that name will be eliminated. So it is the last 3 standing are going to get the slots for the match. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it as I run down the names here. For the DC match, the signups were Will Cohen, Chris Diaz, JD Domash, Joe Fairley, Alejandro Hernandez, Austin Howell, Alex Martinez, Ryan Payne, Henry Sanchez, and Madeeh Ur Rehman. So we had a couple of rookie sign up, which is rather interesting. As I scroll back up in this video and begin to spin the wheel, I adjust it there so you guys can see it perfectly. And round she goes. Let's see who's off the board first, ladies and gentlemen. I really like this new StreamYard thing. This is a new setting to StreamYard, and I like this one. And unfortunately, the first name off the board is Alex Martinez, who would be a Battleground rookie. Now, since this is obviously all past tense, this was recorded ages ago and has since been figured out. I can't confirm that after speaking to Alex, at some point in the distant future, he will be making his Movie Battleground debut. Just unfortunately won't be in this match as we spin the wheel again. And second up to defeat is the champ, Joe Fairley, the honorary champ of Movie Battleground and the champ of TM Geek. So that's probably a good thing that he's not in this match for everyone else competing, because the last thing you want is the guy who is literally a champ at Geek Trivia. Not just in TMG, like every place you can think of. He's like fucking solid. So we spin Henry Sanchez. Next up off the wheel, he is another top debater currently in a tournament finals after winning against me. So again, probably good for the competitors that want in on this match that he is being taken out as we go round and round and round and round. And it's going to split hairs here, but JD Domash will be the next name off the wheel. As we prepare, and around it goes. 6 names left on the wheel, if I can count correctly. There is 6 names left on the wheel. Let's see who it lands on next, and it is going to be Alejandro Hernandez, who is set to make his Battleground debut in the real league, but unfortunately could not quite get in on this exhibition match. As we have 5 names left. Once more, round and round and round it goes. And the next name off the wheel is Ryan Payne. Ryan Payne off the wheel. 4 names left on the wheel. And we go round and round and round. And Will Cohen is off the board. Now, I spin out to the very end here with these just as a way of deciding who is going to be labeled as like a strength person. I don't know why I took it down there. I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember what I was saying when I recorded this initially. So the 3 that were left there, if you guys did not catch it, were Austin Howell, Chris Diaz, and Madeeh Ur Rehman. Those were not the 3 that played necessarily. Austin Howell is a part of the match. Chris Diaz is a part of the match. However, when we were putting this together, Madeeh was in the process of getting ready to play Tyler Birch, and the timeline for recording would have clashed with his matchup against Jeremy, which, as we know, unfortunately, is not going to air. But there it is. I don't know what I was doing there, but unfortunately, yeah, we know the Madeeh match is not going to be airing because I'm a fucking idiot who lost the footage. And basically, the timelines of the 2 matches recording were very similar. They would have been within days of each other, and Madeeh just simply asked to be taken out of consideration because he didn't want to have to think about prepping for 2 matches. He wanted to give his all against Jeremy, give him the best fight he had. So we took Madeeh out. Now, the way that would have worked is if we took somebody out, the next person in line should have got it, which meant Will should have been the next player to get it, but for reasons that will be revealed in just a moment, if that's not blatantly obvious, Will was not given the spot either. And so instead, Ryan Payne, who was the 5th person spun, will get to play that matchup. So it will be Ryan Payne taking on, as I immediately jump into the wheel spin there, let me give it a pause. So it will be Ryan Payne making his Movie Battleground debut, taking on Austin Howell and Chris Diaz. And what was it that I did in this wheel? I don't know why I didn't show you guys who was on the wheel. Oh, yes. Okay, I remember what I did. So originally, as I said, when I recorded this, Madeeh was still in, obviously. Then he won against Tyler and had to play against Jeremy, so he asked to be taken out of the match. But originally, the rule that I had established is because these 2 matches were recording pretty close to each other, I wanted to spread the love. I wanted 6 different people. So I replaced Madeeh's slot right there. You can't see my mouse, I don't believe. But I replaced Madeeh's slot with a wild card slot that's there in the top right-hand corner in between Chad and Jake. The names on this wheel starting from the top and going around are Jake, the wild card slot, which the wild card slot would have just meant I'd respin the wheel once and whoever it landed on got it. Chad Webb, Joe Fairley, Jay Burns, Will Cohen, myself, because let's be real, I'm not much of a drinker, so what would be funnier than seeing me have to drink and debate? Alejandro, Ethan Hubbard, who is a rookie who threw his name into the melting pot here, Noah McCausland, Ryan Payne, Kevin Poss, and Henry Sanchez. With that said, let's go ahead and run a spin on it. No, I do go down and show you who's playing while I'm spinning the wheel. Well, there's the names again, if you missed them the first time. So for what it's worth, guys, especially if you guys are a judge and you were curious as to how you never heard about these matches recording, I made a decision that the judges for these matches, if possible, and there's Jake Reese, who is the first person gone. That was actually really smart of me. Good job, old me. Spin it, then go read it, and then go back up and you have your result. That was actually, can you guys tell that I recorded this a little while ago? Aaron Knoll. Yep, I'm second off the wheel. Thank fucking Christ, because I did not want to have to do this. As we get into the wheel spin again. So yeah, like I was saying, the judges, the plan is to have the judges of each of these matches be made up of the people who signed up but didn't get in. And that is the case with both of these matches. So everybody who was involved got messaged. The people who were free, as unfortunately Noah McCausland there, is taken out of consideration. If you want to see him play, though, this Saturday, we have his match against Kevin Poss going up. So be sure to tune in and check that out. But we go for the next wheel spin. But yeah, so all these competitors that you're seeing being eliminated were taken into consideration for judging. We just used who was free as the way of determining who would play or who would judge. It's late. I'm all over the place. This is the second time I've watched this. So yeah, the wild card spot was out. Ryan Payne is the next person that's out here. As we move right into the next spin, round and round it goes. It looks like there's 8 people left. Yep, 4 green and 4 white makes 8. Henry Sanchez, next person eliminated. That's probably a damn shame because Henry drunk talking certainly would have been a sight for sore eyes. But alas, it was not meant to be. The wheel spins, round and round she goes. And Joe Fairley is the next person eliminated there. And Joe's British, and I believe he said he's half Irish, or part Irish at least. So he certainly would have been one to see drunk, but again, not meant to be, as the wheel spins and spins and spins. Jay Burns, another one, these big hitters that you'd expect to want to see fucked up or being taken off the wheel here at the end. Who will be left of the 5 remaining? The rookie Ethan Hubbard, still on the wheel, as I speak it and jinx it, because Ethan Hubbard is off the wheel. Unfortunately, Ethan, apologies, brother. You made it as far as you could in a game of random chance. But you did pretty well to make it that far. And so now we have 4 names left on the wheel. Alejandro Hernandez, Kevin Poss, Chad Webb, and Will Cohen. And Kevin Poss is eliminated. But kind of like with the DC match, unfortunately, one of the players spun into it, was taken out of consideration. It turns out, and this is on me because I did not make this very clear, part of the drunk match is the competitors are highly, highly encouraged, and they were all cleared ahead of time with being cool with this, to drink during the match. And one of our competitors who is in the spin here still, Alejandro Hernandez, does not drink. Without going into the personal details of him, he is currently he does not drink alcohol. So I have, in turn, since he was literally the last person standing in our spin, I have offered him a spot immediately in the 420 Stoners match, because he does partake in those vices. So because he did literally win this wheel spin, he will participate in the 420 match. But yeah, he was not aware that drinking would literally be a part of the match. And while he did, as an actor, volunteer to act like he was drunk, I feel like it beats part of the authentication of it to not be drinking. Now, we're hoping to have him on as a judge still because he did win the spin, and hopefully we can get him involved that way. But if not, then he will be is going to be in the 420 match simply because he won and didn't quite realize what he'd signed up for. But yeah, guys, that is it for the wheel spin. As I said, it is Noah McCausland. No, it's not Noah McCausland. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys. It's late. I'm tired. I'm going to be straight with you. We just recorded the Noah match, so that's why he's on my mind. But check it out on Saturday. It's a great matchup. We have Ryan Payne, Austin Howell, and Chris Diaz in the DC match. And then we have Will Cohen, Chad Webb, and Kevin Poss in the drunk match, with any potential combination of the names you saw get spun out ahead of time being the judges of those matchups. As I said, check out all the upcoming matches. The DC match takes place next Thursday, 1 week from today, on the 3rd. I think it's the 3rd. Yeah, the 3rd. The drunk match will air on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. The aforementioned, because I talked about it like twice, Noah McCausland, Kevin Poss match is the match this Saturday. Check that match out. And mark your calendars, because March 12th, we are finishing up the tournaments. Our 3rd Battleground Blitz event will be taking place, and both tournament finals of Sean Hunter versus Henry Sanchez in the 0-1 bracket, and then in the 1-0 bracket, Joe Fairley versus the currently unknown to you winner of Jeremy Adams or Madeeh Ur Rehman will be playing in that main event. So mark your calendars, because that's going to be a big night with some big results. because at the end of it, we will know who is playing in our title match. Guys, thank you so much. Again, apologies on my behalf for the butchering of the Jeremy Madeeh match. It's rare mistakes happen, but I do like to own up to them when they do. I hope you guys stuck around to the end to see the drunk match and the DC match spin, and I will go ahead and wrap this segment of the video up at about 15 minutes. My name is Aaron Knoll. I will see you guys next time on the Movie Battleground. Take care, everybody.